G-Unit, I listened. That's the time I was listening to it.
Fame, what up? Billy, what up?
Word.
Tough.
You don't like to teach. You have to make fun of. And if I feel away, I just come out. I'm throwing subs at you on Twitter.
Rest in peace, Fox.
Swear to God, I'm doing the spaces about you.
What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. I had yards today, guys. I'm sorry. I got a later start than I normally do, but I keep preaching on streaming being the next form of content that's going to take over, and they go all day. So all my elevators out there, if y'all still awake, go ahead and click on the video. Doesn't matter what time it is. Let's prove a point. Anywho, Flip is looking for a big brother in Joe that will never exist. And it's going to hurt him every single time. Flip, sir, you need to get it through your head that Joe is a mentor to you. And I'll break that down a little later. But he never wants to be viewed as such. I'm your boss. You're my employee. Outside of this, we can be cordial. We can be known as friends. But I don't want you to mimic my movements. I don't want you to do everything that I'm doing. Because in Flip's eyes, he's paying homage to Joe. Or homage, I don't know how you say that. Everything that you do, I'm implementing in my own network because you did it. But Joe's looking at it like, why are you doing the things that I'm doing? Because you have a network. So unless they get aligned, this relationship is always going to be somewhat at a distance. Joe's going to keep Flip at a distance. And he's always going to make fun of you, Flip. Not because he doesn't believe in you, not because he's not sure who you are. You aren't sure who you are. And please don't take this as a slight. I'm solely speaking on terms of content. That's it. You can't keep looking towards Joe to praise your movements and admonish you behind the scenes. The initial reason that I brought you on to JBN was because of the dynamic you bring. So yes, I'm going to assert my quote-unquote dominance over you by clowning your movements. Please stop trying to copy what the JBN is doing and be a part of the JBN. Where we feel we're going currently, we could have already been there, and the addition of Mark could have catapulted us. But because you are in a silent competition with me, we won't get there. And I'm not going to let you go because it's the same dilemma with Melissa. The engagement Melissa brings solely for being beautiful and wearing tight dresses now, because good Lord, I saw that dress she was wearing earlier. You bring the same dynamic in a different light. I need the anticky niggas. I need the young niggas. I need the rambunctious niggas. And please don't take this as a slight. This is just the demographic that you brought over to the JBP. Because Joe is looking at all the analytics. Flip, you brought a certain demographic over here. Melissa, you brought a certain demographic over here. And Mark, you brought a certain demographic over here. Joe hinted and alluded to Mark's demographic early on when he was saying all the quote-unquote intellectual niggas were in his inbox and on his videos commenting and shit. That's what Mark brought over. But each one of them brought over their own thing. And Ish and Ice didn't bring over anything because they were the fill-ins. So unfortunately for them, even if they had an audience, it would not have mattered because y'all were solely, or y'all are always going to be known as the replacements. Flip has changed his whole network as a result of Joe. And Joe notices this. Yes, nigga, you're balling and technically you're doing it all on your own. But it's because you're mimicking everything we do over here. I'm not going to say Flip wasn't on Patreon. I'm not going to say Flip wasn't podcasting. But the manner that he was doing both changed once he saw what Joe was doing. And he starts paying attention to Patreon way more now, especially after the leak. But even prior to the leak, just because of what Joe was doing on Patreon. So Joe's always going to look at you in that light until you can show him that you stand on your own. And you're doing that currently with your content. This is why I keep telling you, please don't take this as a slight. Because Flip reacts how I react to shit. I'm going to tell you how I initially felt, even if I mull over it over time and realize, damn, what they were saying in the critiques really did have some credence. I'll come back. So please don't take any slights to this. Joe will never acknowledge being a big brother to you. And it's weird that I'm saying it in these terms because you have a father and you look up to him and your mom. So you have parental figures in your life. But mentor isn't a bad thing. This is just a different venture for you. And you speak on it all the time as far as how much you were getting paid for skits, which is a beautiful thing. You're charging niggas to do that stupid shit. And then you realize you don't have to do that stupid shit in order to get paid. And Joe showed you the model. So now you feel indebted to him because he showed you the model. And we know about your tax, but we don't know if Joe gave you bread for the taxes or because your taxes were tied into your own content, he was just paying you for solely being on the show. It's a different form of income that they can't tap into yet. And if you get enough of it off top, then you can pay them back and you can get back to making your content. Because let's be clear, Flip went dormant on his page. So who's to say that Joe gave him any type of advance? That was just a narrative that they ran with. But Flip went dormant on his page. So he slowly but surely paid back his taxes thanks to Joe employing him. And now he feels indebted. And because he's mimicking his movements and he's progressing in life, he's seeking a big brother relationship that will never exist. You have to look at how Joe treats his friends and how he views everything as a competition. That's why he is so close mentally with Ish. Because Ish is the same way. Everything is a competition. But it's a dog-eat-dog world out here, and they respect niggas that can get it for themselves. And because you keep asking him all of his movements, and because when he chastises your movements, you take such offense to it, he can never look at you as a peer, even though you are a peer. So it's weird. It's weird. But I just wanted to give a couple of my thoughts on that. I don't want to drag this out. It hit me. And before I get off, let me not forget, all of this, go back to the snippet that I put in the beginning of the video. All of this started because Parks was making fun of Flip. And because he can't shoot at Parks, and Flip and Parks are one and the same to him in this manner, he had to shoot at Joe. But Parks is the one that clowns people by doing exactly what he did at the beginning of this clip. Mark does this as well, but he does it to a better and higher clip. Parks, on the other hand, holds way more weight at the JBN, so it's going to hit them every single time it happens. It's going to affect them differently. But like I said, I just wanted to speak on this a little bit. There's things that I see on the pod that I'm going to start speaking on in video format, as opposed to just speaking on someone's going to get hired, someone's going to get fired. Yeah, we don't have to do the clickbaity stuff. There are things that are happening that may seem mundane as soon as they happen, but there's a reason that these things happen. So we just got to start paying attention. I appreciate y'all. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rocking. Hey, I ain't going to hold you. Patreon. I'm dropping them bad boys on Patreon just like I am on YouTube. Different videos. I got the free tier busting right now. I ain't gonna hold you. We just hit 112 members. I'm not gonna hold you. I was checking. Hey, y'all know how I be checking our other pages, cause you always got to check the landscape. You got to make sure you're doing what you need to do against not necessarily your adversaries or opponents, but your peers, people that you're up against. And I'm checking the numbers. And I'm seeing the likes and the comments on my shit, and the likes and the comments on everybody else's shit, outside of Danny and Joe and the heavyweights. We already beating them. We're already passing people in memberships. So we're going to keep running that Patreon up. I'm not concerned about making $1 from that bad boy. The goal is to get everyone over there as well, to contribute, build a community up over there as well, and then worry about the bread. We got to bring them over there first. This ain't Clubhouse, though, like Joe did. Joe tried to build Clubhouse up, but he ain't had no equity, and they weren't paying. So he quickly realized that and got the fuck away from there. We're not doing that. This is just content that I would have put out over time anyway. So I appreciate y'all building the community up. I appreciate all the support you've been showing your boy. It means the world to me. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.